A very good morning, esteemed panelists, moderators, and delegates. A warm and cheerful welcome to Day 3 of the Xavier Board Triennial Conference 2025. As we start today's program, let us take a moment to bow our heads and invite God's blessings through prayer. I request everyone to take a prayerful posture as the liturgy committee leads us into prayer.
Loving God, we come before you this morning with grateful hearts for the gift of life, for the opportunity to serve, and for the grace of being part of Xavier Board Triennial Conference. You have blessed our institutions with visionaries, educators, and students who continue to bring hope to the world. We ask you to renew within us a spirit of dedication and purpose. As we begin this day's proceedings, we pray for an open mind and a humble heart. Help us to recognize your presence in one another, in every idea shared, every concern raised. May all that we do today be for your glory and the upliftment of those we serve. Like St. Francis Xavier, may we be tireless in our efforts, courageous in our faith, and generous in our love. We entrust all our plans and dreams into your hands. O Lord, knowing that you will bring to completion the good work you have begun in us. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Good morning. St. Aloysius institutions deem it its privilege to stand for its virtues of honoring and respecting every religious practice. And as we all know, today is Deepavali in the entire country. And we have a couple of our staff members. They celebrate Deepavali, but today they've decided to sacrifice their government holiday and come and work for us. So we would like to as a goodwill gesture, we would like to call them on stage and greet them. And to do these honors, may I please request Father Joji Reddy and Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis SJ to please come on stage. You've been witnessing videos all these days and the photographs as well, thanks to the digital media cell, and we have two of them, Mr. Jayant Shetty and Mr. Prajit Kumar. They can please come on stage, take the blessings, and also take a box of sweets from our eminent dignitaries, Mr. Jayant Shetty and Mr. Prajit. Happy Deepavali to everyone. The light of education and knowledge which we spread through our educational institution be the beacon of hope for the entire world. Happy Deepavali once again. Thank you, dignitaries. Thank you, staff members.
We hope you had a refreshing start to your morning. Yesterday's sessions were truly inspiring, and today promises to take us a step further in our journey of innovation, entrepreneurship, and collaboration in higher education. Innovation is no longer a choice. It's the new language of progress. In a world that's constantly evolving, higher education can no longer be confined to classrooms, textbooks, and examinations. It must become a launchpad, a place where ideas are born, tested, and transformed into enterprises that can change lives. Today's session takes us to the core of transformation, where creativity meets education and education connects with entrepreneurship. We explore how higher education can nurture not only dreamers but doers by creating ecosystems that enable students to transform ideas into enterprises. A university where every project holds the potential of a startup and classrooms become spaces of collaboration and growth. Equally significant is inclusion, where women entrepreneurship emerges as a force of progress. Around the world, women leaders are reshaping business landscapes through resilience, vision, and innovation. When women lead, economies prosper. When creativity flourishes, societies advance. As we begin this session, let us open our minds to new possibilities, to education that empowers creation, and to a future that is bold, inclusive, and boundless. To guide and moderate this enlightening session, we are honored to have with us Reverend Dr. Thomas Thenadiyil CMF, the moderator of today's session, and the panelists Dr. Saji Varghese and Ms. Marjorie Aranha Texeira. I request the moderator and the panelists to grade the seat on the dais. It is my pleasure to introduce the moderator for the session, Reverend Dr. Thomas Thenadiyil CMF, Principal of St. Claret College Autonomous Bengaluru and a Claretian priest of the province of Bangalore. Father Thomas brings with him over 15 years of experience in Catholic higher education as a faculty member, trainer, researcher, and leader. Under his visionary leadership, St. Claret College has achieved remarkable milestones within less than 2 decades, earning an A+ grade from NAC and attaining autonomous status. He also serves as the Secretary of the Xavier Board Karnataka region, the Conference of Catholic Colleges of Karnataka, and is a governing body member of KRCE. Father Thomas is deeply passionate about transforming young lives through education and about fostering innovation, student-centered pedagogical practices that empower faculty to enhance learning engagement and effectiveness. Over the years, he has gained rich experience as a youth activist, formator of seminarians, teacher, and faculty trainer. He has also presented papers and attended several national and international conferences and continues to contribute as an educational and leadership consultant for various non-governmental organizations. Let us warmly welcome Dr. Thomas Thenadiyil CMF as he moderates this enriching session. We also have with us Dr. Saji Varghese and Ms. Marjorie Aranha Texeira, the panelists of today's session. A warm welcome to you as well. May I request Dr. Sister Teresa to extend a green welcome to our esteemed moderator and panelists. Thank you, Dr. Sister Teresa. I now invite the moderator, Reverend Dr. Thomas Thenadiyil, as he moderates this enriching session. Father, kindly take over.
Good morning, everyone. Ms. Marjorie, Dr. Saji, Reverend Fathers, Sisters, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen. We have time till 11 o'clock. And we are so privileged to have two experts to help us reflect on how to build an entrepreneurial ecosystem in our colleges and universities. Let me just begin by citing how important this is in our education system today. It's so very important that we give this entrepreneurship focus in our higher education system today. And we have seen this big shift that has happened. India is rapidly shifting from a job-seeking to a job-creating economy. The traditional job market, like government jobs, corporate jobs, those cannot absorb the millions of graduates coming out of thousands of higher educational institutions in our country today. And we also know if we provide an entrepreneurship focus in our system, it can certainly redefine the way we impart education from a theoretical and exam-oriented approach to education, from a passive to a very active system of education promoting experiential learning, hands-on learning, outcome-based learning. We know in our country, even in higher education, even today, great focus is on rote learning, passive learning, and if we encourage entrepreneurship, certainly there can be this shift that is happening in the first world today. And we also encourage, if we encourage entrepreneurship, our students will certainly identify local problems and they will design innovative solutions to the local problems. What is the purpose of education if that does not result in finding solutions to the problems? And thereby contributing to local employment, sustainability, and community development. I'm not taking away the time that has to be assigned to our two experts here. This is how we will go. We will first go with Ms. Marjorie, a great woman entrepreneurship leader, someone who actually believes so much in inclusion. Let me first introduce her. She will make her presentation. Then we can ask, we can have these Q&A sessions with her. Then, Dr. Saji will take over. I have the privilege of introducing Marjorie Aranha Texeira. She has divided her life into some 3 phases here. That's how I'm going to present this as well. The first 20 years of Marjorie Aranha Texeira, she excelled in studies, great academician, great in academic achievements, winning a 2nd rank in Karnataka PU pre-university examination. She was a college president in the academic year 1980-81 at St. Agnes College, awarded Best NCC Cadet of Karnataka State and 2nd Best NCC Cadet of the country at the national level. She captained Mysore University volleyball team and badminton team as well. That's the first 20 years. The next 20 years, joined Karnataka Bank as an officer, and within the next 4 years was appointed as a bank manager. Had a career of 20 years as senior manager of Karnataka Bank and HDFC Bank. That was the second 20 years. The next 20 years, she got into business, sending students abroad for higher studies and immigration. Also had multiple businesses in Bangalore. Next 4 years, I know you're counting how old she is now. At the age of 60, she said, enough of working, and plunged into social service. She has her own organization called Empower Her and has trained over 700 women in various skills where they can eke out a living. Please give it up for her. Presently, she also helps a lot of women in distress. She is a president of various organizations. She's been awarded the Businesswoman of the Year by the Christian Chamber of Commerce, Mumbai in 2015. We're so very privileged to have you here with us, and we look forward to listening to you. I'm sure several hundreds of women sitting here will be very excited as to how they can begin their business as well. Okay, so please put your hands together and welcome Marjorie Aranha Texeira. Please, ma'am.
Reverend Fathers, sisters, and educators of various colleges and universities. It is both an honor and blessing to stand before you today as a woman who has journeyed through 25 years of entrepreneurship, a journey filled with challenges, lessons, faith, and growth. I'm deeply grateful to address this conference, for it is not only a conversation about business, but about mission, about how women, as co-creators with God, can participate in the transformation of society through enterprise, and why I believe it is time for the colleges and the universities to gently but firmly nudge more women into this space. Our world is in need of renewal. It yearns for compassion, creativity, and integrity, the very qualities that women, empowered by their faith, bring into every sphere they are in. When a woman builds an enterprise, she just doesn't create products or services. She creates communities, opportunities, and hope. And when a woman earns, she educates her children. And when she leads, she uplifts her community. And when she thrives, she transforms her family. And so today, I will speak on 3 interconnected themes. Firstly, how women can be successful entrepreneurs. Second, why the colleges, universities, and the church also should actively encourage and empower women to take up enterprises. And thirdly, what values and virtues make enterprises not only profitable but purposeful. I began my entrepreneurial journey 25 years back. I didn't wake up one morning saying, I shall be an entrepreneur. No halo descended on me, or no angel whispered in my ears. Like most women, I stepped into entrepreneurship because life demanded it, and I had this irrepressible belief that if men can, women can too, and more gracefully. As you know from my biodata, as soon as I finished my college in the prestigious St. Agnes College, and my principal is here, I'm very honored, Sister Vanessa is here. And I joined Karnataka Bank as an officer at the age of 20. And immediately, after 4 years as an officer, I was appointed as a bank manager. And I must say, not that I want to blow my trumpet, I think I'm the youngest manager in India. After that, for the next 3 terms, that is, each term of a manager is about 3 to 4 years, I was in Mangalore itself. Usually, they do not keep any person, either an officer or a manager, in a particular place or city for more than 3 to 4 years. But for 20 years, I was in Mangalore, heading various branches. But, I know, thank you for the accolades, but, I must say but. So after 20 years, the chairman calls me one day and says, Marjorie, we are going to give you an executive position, but you have to leave Mangalore. I almost got a heart attack. Leaving Mangalore. Now, many of you think why women do not go up in careers, and I'll give you one reason. My husband was in business, and we have coffee plantation. I had 2 small boys. Of course, I had maids in the house. But how can I leave my house and go to Mumbai? Can a woman leave a house? My husband is mostly on the estate. My boys are in school. Can a woman, I'm asking you all, can a woman leave a house and go to another place, far off place, for months together away from the house, leaving the 2 boys just in the hands of maids? It's impossible. And so, with a grieving heart, I gave my resignation. But then I was restless. I said I must do something in life. Instead of carrying someone's baby, I thought, let me carry my own. And so, I put on my entrepreneurship cap and said, I'm going to start something today. And the in thing those days was students wanting to go abroad for higher studies. And so I took up that agency, and for 10 years, I was doing well for myself. After that, my boys thought they wanted to go to Bangalore for higher studies. So I moved on with them to Bangalore. And there, I knew one director in St. John's Hospital, Father Glenn. He approached us one day because in our estate we had a small resort. So he told me, Marjorie, I think you have some experience, both finance and running a resort. Of course, my husband was running, but I was helping him sometimes. Why don't you take up the cafeteria at St. John's Hospital? And mind you, I took it as a challenge. I took up 25,000 square feet of a complex inside St. John's Hospital. For 8 years, I had 150 staff. I ran the entire cafeteria, the supermarket, the bakery, the medical equipment department, and many other things in St. John's Hospital campus. And so, of course, now I'm a coffee planter. So, with my experience, I say every woman who dares to begin a venture must have 3 beliefs. That God has given her a unique talent, that her work, done with integrity, is a form of worship, and a perseverance grounded in prayer will yield fruit. Women entrepreneurs often balance multiple roles: mother, daughter, caregiver, and community worker. Yet, through this beautiful complexity, they learn the art of adaptability, empathy, and problem solving. These are precisely the qualities needed to lead in the modern economy. But yet, so many talented women remain on the sidelines. Why? Why? I'm asking you why. Because they lack encouragement. They are told it's risky, it's uncertain, and it's not for you. But faith itself is built on stepping into unknown. Isn't that what Mary did when she said yes, without knowing what the journey ahead held? As the American author Eleanor Roosevelt once said, a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until you put her in hot water. Now, for the second phase of my life, I told you I went to Bangalore and I started the business. And I was there in the business for about 7-8 years. During that time, I joined the Women's Commission in Bangalore. And one day, the Women's Commission had to meet the bishop. So we were all there, the Archbishop, I mean. So the Archbishop said, yes, women need to be encouraged. Women need to be entrepreneurs. And I think, Marjorie, you're the right person because you were a banker and now you're an entrepreneur. So could you go to all the parishes and start women's entrepreneur cells? I thought it was a cakewalk. I said, yes, my lord. I said, and diligently, the very next day, I started going to the parishes, starting firstly from Lourdes and then Sacred Heart, the Cathedral, and St. Patrick's. I went to quite a few parishes. I met the parish priest and the leaders of the women's community. So I told them that Archbishop has asked me to start women entrepreneur cells in each parish. They were flabbergasted and they said, Madam, the idea is good, but the women in our parishes have no skill to start anything. They don't have any skill. So how are you going to start the entrepreneurship cells? And that opened my mind. I said, yes. Unless we give them a skill, we cannot have women entrepreneurs. So the next thing what I did was, I went around, and that was COVID time. I gathered trainers. And then I went to several parishes and taught various skills to the women. For example, Karmalaram parish, I took the women, 30 of them, to a chicky making factory. The cathedral women, I brought someone to teach them how to make jams and sausages. I went to 2 orphanages and taught them how to make bags. And some remote areas, how to make candles. Especially Vivek Nagar, they have infant Jesus is one small shrine, so they wanted candles. So those women learned to make candles. Another parish, soap making. And mind you, it was COVID time. I have a friend called Brinda Adige in Bangalore. So she said, Marjorie, you come to Ijipura. Let us see what we can do. And I thought Ijipura area was just like any other area. But the number of slums, mind you, I haven't seen them because Bangalore has no slums. Hundreds of slums in Ijipura. And so I asked them, what is the best way of, making things and selling by these women? And they told me, the people of that area said, all these women go and do household work. The men are rickshaw drivers or masons or laborers. So they don't have time to cook at home. So madam, you teach various savories and snacks. And we have these food carts. So the vendors can go house to house and sell. And so we taught a lot of women in the slum areas to make all these savories and food items so they could go house to house and sell. Now, how the church also could help, I'll give you one example. I went to one parish in Kamanalli. I forgot the name of the priest, parish priest, Father Joseph. In fact, he got a contact from somebody and contacted me and said, Marjorie, you have to come and teach our women. So I thought the best thing would teach them was to make pickles. So I took a trainer and there were 30 women. And we had this training of making various pickles. There were 30 women. And mind you, the parish priest was there for the entire workshop. For an hour he sat. And after the workshop, he stood up and said, dear women, now you have all learnt how to make pickle. Next Sunday, every one of you should make pickles and bring to the church. I will be keeping 4 tables in the veranda, and after the mass, I want you to sell the pickle. I really thought this was a priest who was really not only helping women have skills, but even trying to market their products. The main thing now is not making, but selling. So this was a true example. I go everywhere and say hats off to this parish priest of Kamanalli Church in Bangalore, who encouraged women not only to be entrepreneurs, but also tried to market their products. So let us now consider practical principles for entrepreneurial success. Lessons tested by experience and affirmed by faith. The vision anchored in values. Every successful enterprise begins with a clear vision. But a woman's vision must align with her values: honesty, service, excellence, compassion. Businesses built on such values stand strong even in storms. Next, education and skill development. Knowledge is empowerment. Women must continually learn about finance, technology, and leadership. The book of Proverbs reminds us, wise women build their house. Today, the house may be her business. Next is mentorship and networking. Women need mentors who can guide them and networks that uplift them. Churches, colleges, universities, and faith-based organizations can play a vital role here, connecting experienced entrepreneurs and aspiring ones. And one major challenge for women globally is funding. The schools, colleges, universities, various organizations can create microfinance and initiatives to provide finance and literacy for these women. Now let us see how you in your colleges and universities can encourage women entrepreneurs. And this is perhaps the heart of our conversation here today. These colleges and universities have always been the moral and spiritual and educational center of our communities. But now, It must be the center of enterprise empowerment too. I hope you all agree with me. Yeah. You, dear priests, nuns, educators, the laity who have assembled here, have the power to inspire women. You are the moral compass, the motivators, the gentle voices that women listen to and trust. If you stand on a stage and begin to speak about enterprise as a means of empowerment for women and a pathway to dignity, I'm sure the ripple effect will be enormous. Now, how to move forward? Create these networks in your universities and your colleges, programs which could mentor women in planning, management, and marketing as well. Such networks would link women entrepreneurs with experts and educators. Next, recognizing the economic ministries. The early church appointed deacons and lay leaders for service. In our times, we can inspire economic ministers, leaders who use their business acumen for community development. Celebrating women achievers. Every year, the colleges and the universities could honor women entrepreneurs who serve society through ethical businesses, and recognition inspires others to follow. Now let's see the testimonies and the examples. Across the world, many women are already living this calling. There are nuns in India, especially in the rural areas, who have rebuilt the livelihoods of many people through small enterprises, especially after the pandemic, teaching skills and restoring dignity. These organizations like National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs, they provide mentorship, biblical business education, and community support. Countless lay women in their schools, colleges, and the universities have started training institutes like bakeries, tailoring, etc., blending service with sustainability. So such examples remind us that entrepreneurship is not elitist. It begins wherever there is a woman with faith and an idea. Now, how to overcome barriers? Of course, there remains a big challenge. Access to funding, gender bias, work-home balance, like how I faced those days, and lack of recognition. Yet, the solution lies not only in the policy, but in community transformation. Policy empowerment to advocate for equal credit access to women, cultural change, challenge stereotypes that limit women's roles, education, equip girls from a young age with leadership and entrepreneurial skills. So, the role of Xavier Board educators, fathers, sisters, and lay educators. Your support is vital. You are shepherds of souls and stewards of community growth. You can encourage women to dream beyond dependency, encourage them to use their God-given talents, whether it's baking, tailoring, farming, etc., host workshops on enterprise and financial discipline, partner with NGOs and government schemes to create a pipeline for women's development, use your moral voice to affirm that women's economic empowerment is part of the gospel of liberation. In supporting women's entrepreneurship, you're not only creating jobs, you're cultivating dignity, justice, and hope. And so, when women thrive economically, families prosper. And when families prosper, communities become stable. And as Mother Teresa said, you can do what I cannot do. I can do what you cannot do. So together, we can do great things. Supporting women entrepreneurs is thus not an optional project. It is a theological imperative. It means participating in the renewal of creation and in the mission of Christ, who came that we may have a life and have it abundantly. And so, ladies and gentlemen, our vision for the future. Imagine a network of colleges, universities, and the church supporting women entrepreneurs across towns and cities and villages in our country. Imagine the convents becoming training centers of enterprise. Imagine the universities having women entrepreneur training programs and leading these women in green innovation, education, healthcare, social impact ventures. This is not a dream. It is a destiny within reach. If only we believe, invest, and act. And so, my beloved brothers and sisters, let us see entrepreneurship not as an escape, but as an expression. Let us teach our girls that their creativity is divine, their labor is sacred, and their success is service. Let us all together clear new ground, just as the prophet Isaiah said, enlarge the place of your tent, stretch your tent curtains wide, do not hold back. And so, in empowering women to become entrepreneurs, we are not just building businesses, we are building the kingdom of God on earth. If each college or each university can get 10 women entrepreneurs, imagine the transformation. And so, may every woman who listens here, I mean even the men, hope you're all inspired in what I've said. So let us rise, create, to lead with faith, courage, and love. Thank you. I would also like to say, if any organization wants to train the women, I'm there for you. I can get you trainers, and I can also build entrepreneur cells. I can also teach how to start a business, how to get finance, how to go through the legal process, all those, how to get a license, all those things. So I think let us make a conscious decision today itself, every university, every college, that you're going to have an entrepreneur cell in your university and your college, and I'm there. If you need, you can call me, especially the ones who are close by to Mangalore, or I often go to Bangalore. Please call me. I will come and help you start entrepreneur cells in your colleges and universities, and I can give the training to these women.
You heard it all. You know, how often we heard in her sharing vision, values, compassion, faith, inclusion, skill set, mentorship, networking. And what I liked most was all along the way there has been reference to her faith, Bible, theology, and what a wonderful presentation. So much of energy for a 65-year-old, correct myself, not 64, 65. Give it up for Marjorie once again. Thank you so much. During the break, will you be available for conversation? Those of you who couldn't get the opportunity to ask a question now, Ma'am will be available for a conversation. Let me now introduce Dr. Saji Varghese, Associate Professor and Board Member of Incubation Cell Christ, deemed to be University, Bangalore. Dr. Saji Varghese is Associate Professor in the Department of English, Christ University, Bangalore. He is a board member of Incubation Cell, Christ University. He did his PhD in English from Nagpur University and has an experience of 23 years teaching English language and literature at UG and PG level in Nagpur and Bangalore. Besides his interest in exploring English language and teaching pedagogies, he has a keen interest in grassroots innovation and entrepreneurship. He got the fastest patent granted in India in 2018 for his innovation of biodegradable straws from coconut leaves. His startup is leading to the employment of over 200 women in coastal India, backed by the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Dr. Saji Varghese was invited to be part of the Honorable President of India's business delegation to the Philippines in October 2019. He recently won the Global Honeybee Network Creativity and Inclusivity Innovation Appreciation Award organized through UNDP. If you ever thought faculty members in humanities, arts and English language cannot be entrepreneurs, here is an exception. We extend a very hearty and warm welcome to Dr. Saji Varghese for your presentation.
A very good morning to all of you. A privilege and a blessing to be here. Thank you very much for this very wonderful opportunity to address, a very elite gathering of educators. I'll just share my journey because I don't have much of a theory. I decided to be a practitioner. So I teach English at Christ University. But I also have, as you just read, interest for grassroots innovation. And there's a reason why I started having that interest. I was teaching English in Maharashtra, in Vidarbha region, in a very remote village. And I taught there for 10 years. And, the central region, the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, if you know, has the highest number of farmer suicides. And I had a UGC appointed position, so we are all financially secure and all of that. But then you see poverty all along. You would see a farmer committing suicide because he couldn't pay back a loan of 50,000 rupees. And then it's a closed community. I am teaching English in a very small place. In fact, I just wanted to show that this is the college where I taught for 10 years. If you see the unplastered wall, and students used to come from very remote areas. Most of them could not even afford proper slippers. And they would come there and learn. And I taught there for 10 years. And I would say that, the essence of my vocation as a teacher was actually accomplished at that place. And then later when I moved to the city of Nagpur, I would again see slums and then little children playing near those city drains. They are all cheerful and happy, but they don't know that life has not given them anything. And I would look at the face of one such child and I would ask this question to myself, that I might teach English for another 15, 20 years, but how will I make a tangible impact on the life of at least one such child? And that took me to the path of innovations. That happened because I was inspired. Yeah. So this was a biography of an agriculture scientist, George Washington Carver. When I read this biography, he says something very simple: start where you are with what you have and never stop at anything, make something of it. And he has 200 patents on different products he made just from a peanut, the different products he made. And that really inspired me, and I said that though I might not have expertise in technology, I can still do small innovations. And that's exactly what took me to the path of innovations. I was always trying to figure out problems around us and see whether we could come up with some solutions. And when I came back, next slide, previous slide, yeah. So now at Christ University, I walked up to our Vice Chancellor, former Vice Chancellor, and I said, I would like to start a small center for social entrepreneurship, and I love to call it DESI. I think in Hindi, if you understand DESI, DESI refers to the countryside. But it's an acronym for Design and Innovation for Social Entrepreneurship. So there has to be innovation, there has to be scalability, there has to be sustainability. And the beautiful part of DESI is that this is a small center. If you come to Christ University, you can come on the 7th floor of Research and Development Wing under Christ Incubation Center. They have given us an entire floor to work with. And then the best part is that this the center starts only after the college hours. And students from different streams come together. No attendance is taken. If they really want to try to find something new, you can come there. And that's what they see is we have students from different streams. It's very interdisciplinary, and we come across and we just walk around the streets of, the SG Palya. There is a small marketplace. We look around and we see problems around us, and then we come back and say, can we come up with a solution? So it's a very hands-on thing, and that is why the first slide, what was my first slide? Life is a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're going to get, inspired from Forrest Gump, right? So when you take a journey into the path of innovations, you'll never know what's in store for you. Life, it offers you, it throws up lots of pleasant surprises. So the next slide. Yeah, on a typical day, you might find students coming together and doing experiments like these. Next slide. So if you see here, there is a student. Now, this student is an economics student. He's working with a student from biotechnology. And there is a student from BBA. They all come together, the students from commerce who come and work together. Can you play this video? Yeah, they are building a prototype of building a multiple corn roaster. So they look at, somebody who's selling corn on the streets, and then they see whether we can improve his life. So things like that. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So it's very important for educational institutions, as the presenter before me had been telling, that we need to readjust our paradigm of why our educational institutions cannot be more innovative and try to have a real impact on our communities. As we all know that our entire education system has always been talking about making ourselves financially secure, score well, good marks, get placed, get a job. We need to shift that paradigm. So we need to readjust our lenses and say, can our universities become more meaningful? And sometimes when I see that students are from University of Stanford come and solve our problems in our backyard, that's what really embarrasses. I mean, we should be proud of what they are doing, but we should ask this question, why can't we also make such meaningful impacts? Yeah, next slide. Yeah. So it all starts with empathy. Unless I put myself in somebody else's shoes, why would I even want to solve somebody's problem? So empathy is at the core of what we do, and it's not just about, okay, let us do an enterprise, let us do a startup, let us make money. It doesn't start from there. It starts from empathy. And this is exactly, in fact, Tina Seelig from Stanford, she was my mentor when I was setting up Desi, and she said this is the innovation engine. So our educational institutions can provide the external engine. We have to create an entire culture of innovation, a habitat, and of course, most of our institutions does have resources. It's all about how you create the entire culture, and one of the important culture is that we have to accept failures. No innovations can ever happen unless we embrace failures. And our educational institutions, our society is all about stigmatizing failure. And that is why our students do not have the creative courage. I call it the creative courage to try something new. Yeah, and then they have to be trained to use their imagination. Our universities usually ask the first question, 5 plus 5 is equal to what? And you have one correct answer, and then everyone scores good marks. But when you have to trigger imagination, you have to ask the second question, what plus what gives you 10? And now you are opening up an entire window of possibilities, right? If I were to ask you how many ways you can add two numbers to give the answer 10, and I think all of us know that it could be infinite ways you can add. And that is how, for example, we see a problem in the market, somebody managing a certain business, and if he sees a problem, how can we solve it? There are multiple ways of solving it. And that is how we start using our imagination. And then I always say that observation is the key to innovation. I always use this mantra, walk through the most familiar places like a traveler. When we are in a new place, we are all eyes. We are looking at everything very curiously. But when we walk through the most regular paths, we stop seeing critically. And that's exactly where the problems lie, where solutions are possible. And that is why our students need to really, really inculcate this entire culture of critically seeing things, being very powerful observers. And then, I'll not go into the details of all this. There is a very scientific way in which we approach the approach of innovation. It has to be very methodical. It cannot be ad hoc. It cannot be abrupt. So they go through an entire scientific process, and then they start connecting and combining different things. And then this is always an example. I use juggling as a metaphor for risk taking. You can never learn juggling on the first go, right? You have to fail several times before you start doing it well. So innovation is like that. You have to fail several times before you start, figuring out how a particular thing is going to work. Yeah. So I always ask this question, so much of theory already. I gave a lot of theory, right? It has to start with empathy, observation, critical thinking, connecting and combining. But it's time for our institutions to act. I always ask, have you read a book called Stop Clapping? I'm sure, I know it's a very bad joke, but if you have not read the book, you don't have to worry because it's not yet published. I'm writing that book, okay? So my point is, it's high time that we stop all these, we have had enough of motivational talks and awareness campaigns. We all know the problems. It's time to act. And when we say it's time to act, you need to have the attitude of initiative. We have to be the people on the field, on the ground. So I'm going to very quickly narrate 3 stories that happened at Desi and how it's making an impact. And I think that will, through that you can drive home a few lessons. Can you play this video, please? Yeah. So this is Mallika Arjun. He is a staff at our university. And we were going for a meeting. Desi students, there were 36 students that day. Can you stop it? Yeah. You can stop it now. No, previous slide itself is stopped. So this was Mallikarjun. We were going for a meeting, and while we were crossing, now we are applying the lessons. Observation. So I observed him. I found that he was bending at every step. And then I told the students, let's not go for the meeting. Let's just do one task here. We'll wait here, and we'll see how much time he takes to mark the entire football field. He was marking the football field for a football event. And we'll do how much time it takes, and we'll count the number of times he has to bend. And thankfully, he had just started it. So we waited and waited. We counted and counted. We waited for 1 hour, 35 minutes. And in that 1 hour, 35 minutes, he had to bend 600 times, exactly 600 times. And I told the boys and girls, here is a person in our own family who has to bend 600 times to mark a football field once. And when we went and spoke to him, he said that the biggest problem he has is that he has to do it several times. He has to do it very fast because the match is going to happen in an hour. And he would end up inhaling a lot of this lime powder, which was affecting his respiration. And he had to do it twice a week because in Bangalore it rains abruptly in the evenings most of the days and the lines wash off. And then he has to do it at least twice. And he had been doing it for 9 years. He was employed there for 9 years. And I said, it was all a simple act of observation. But then somebody had to observe. And I told the boys and girls that I'll give you 3,000 rupees, I'll give you 3 days. Can you bring a smile on Mallikarjun's face? I didn't say, can you build technology? I said, can you bring a smile on Mallikarjun's face? Because technology is only an enabler, right? We have to really value the precious lives that are around us. And thankfully, we had amazing students. This is a student named Chirag. He was a second-year student of BSc Physics, Maths, Electronics. He was a student leader of Desi. And you give him a challenge, he will not rest till he has found out some solution. So it was a Saturday. On Sunday, he called me up and he said, sir, I have tried to make a small contraption, a prototype. And I come to the ground, and Mallikarjun also used to stay in the campus. So we called him. And here I see Chirag has brought a prototype, crude prototype of half plastic football, half plastic bottle with a wooden strap attached to it, with wheels to it. And then we tried to make it. And then we found out that, it needed, the lime powder was just lumping up at the slit. It wouldn't flow. And then I remember at that time, my daughter was also studying in Christ University. And I stole her brush, the brush with which you comb the hair. Yeah, so she has nice curly hair. So I went back home. Thankfully, it was 11:30 in the afternoon, Sunday. And like a true Christite, she was sleeping till 11:30. And I very secretly opened and I stole that brush, and we broke it and we put it in the axle. And because it was spiky, it started flowing the lime powder. So they got the whole idea. So Chirag was very happy. He said, I understood the concept. And can you play this video? And on Tuesday evening, this is what we gave to Mallikarjun. And he has been using it now. So for me, it's all about hands-on. How can we really make an impact on the ground? And even now, Mallikarjun uses these. We have given quite a few to the other campuses also. And now whenever Mallikarjun meets me, even yesterday, he gives a nice big salute with a big smile on his face. And he asks me, did you have your lunch or did you have your breakfast? There's so much of a mutual concern that has happened now. This is the beauty of when we start empathizing and we start touching people's lives. My next story is about this. So this is 2nd of October 2017. A gentleman from Netherlands visited us, and he was interested about what we were doing at Desi. He started asking a lot of questions, and suddenly he says, Saji, can you think of trying to bring an alternative for single-use plastic straws? Because it is such a scourge to the environment, it is killing marine life and so on and so forth. So the next day, this is 3rd of October, I was walking in the campus, and that question was still in my head. And I said, why can't we find an eco-friendly alternative? And thankfully, Christ University is a very pristine campus, a lot of coconut trees around. As I was walking, I saw a fallen coconut leaf. And when I saw the fallen coconut leaf, it's, we all have seen coconut leaves, right? Once it dries up, it's curled up, and it's shriveled, and it is straight, and I call it my moment of serendipity, my moment of epiphany. I was thinking, why can't we make straws out of these? So I cut quite a few of those leaflets, dry ones, and people burn it everywhere, right? The midrib is used to make brooms, but otherwise people burn it. So I took all of these, and this is where I brag something about myself. Allow me to do that. So I'm an early riser. I rise up at 3:30 in the morning every day for the past 35, 40 years. And I have a lab at home. It's a full-fledged lab. It's only the spelling is different. It is KITCHEN. So my kitchen is my lab, and I was doing all sorts of random experiments there. And one day so I remember I was soaking it, and one time I was ironing it, and one time I just put it in an idli utensil, and I steamed it like you steam idlis. And in 45, 50 seconds, a nice shine came on the surface. I was very intrigued. So next day I went back to the Life Sciences department, spoke to Father Joby, and said, can you give me 2 students from MSc? I want to do some studies. And 2 students, Dylan and Jyoti, hats off to them. They took this as their final year project. So they were sent to Central Plantation Research Institute in Kasaragod, and they did a 5-month project on the oily substance, that is the epicuticular wax on the coconut leaf of 7 varieties of coconut. They came out with a beautiful study. They found out that it is all phenolic compounds. It is safe for your body even if you intake it. And they even published a paper which got published in the Asian Journal of Plant Sciences. I hope you're taking the lessons from all of this. So there's a lot of inputs that keep coming. And the long story short is that I was very excited about this. And in about a week's time, I invented the world's first drinking straws, which is made from fallen coconut leaves. And that's when we got the fastest patent. So when I first showed this straws, somebody laughed at it and just put it aside. And that's when I learned this biggest lesson, that you have to have self-belief. You have to believe in your ideas. If you don't believe, others won't believe in your ideas. And I worked on it. I started showing it to people, and they started getting interested. And it was at this point that the boy Chirag, right, the one who made the field marker, he had gone to UK to do space engineering. In fact, he is an expert in satellite technology. He has a patent on an original satellite he has designed. But when he came back, he had a job offer from Germany. But he called me up and he said, sir, what are you up to? Then I said, I just made these straws, and I think if we can make small machines to roll out these straws, we can give it out in the villages, and we'll employ women in rural areas, and we'll sell the straws globally. I was very audacious. I hadn't even sold the first straw, but I was very audacious about it. And thankfully, by God's grace, that's exactly what we are doing. I'm very proud to say that Chirag, he had a job offer from Germany, but he refused that job offer, and he said, sir, I'll just work with you. And I'm very proud to say that this company, actually, this is called Sunbird Straws. This is a private limited company that I have founded, and Chirag and Sandeep and one more student of physics, economics major, we are co-founded. It's a private limited company co-founded by a faculty and 2 students. So this is what we can actually do. And even today they have gone to work on it, and they developed these small machines. This is the straws that we have made, and it's a registered trademark. Please understand that when you come up with an idea itself won't take you any further. You have to understand all the nuances of building it into an enterprise. There are several aspects to it, including the brand strategy. And today we have, this is Chirag and Sandeep. Sandeep is from the village, not from a very well-to-do family, but he also had the courage to say all his friends are working in banks, earning good salaries, but he is also the head of training operations, and he takes care of even branding and marketing. And the other boy, Chirag, he is the CEO of our company now. We just appointed him as the CEO of our company. And we developed all these machines, and this was the first village trip. That's what I'm saying. You cannot build great enterprises sitting in AC chambers. So this is a tractor ride to the village to set up our first production center in Madurai. So we set up our first production. It was a tractor ride because there was no road to reach there. And we set up our first production center. Today we have 6 production centers in Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and 108 women, not 200. I want to correct the number. Is 108 women are employed with us for the past 3 years. This is also protect your IP. It's very important that we protect our IP for our own communities, because see the KFCs and the big names that whether it's Google, they know how to build enterprises. Right? We don't just think of, okay, I made a product, I'll sell and make money. Make it like a huge brand. Our students need to learn all of that. And from scratch, we made the machines. So I'm also happy to tell you that an engineer from HCL resigned from HCL and joined us. He heads technology. So English teachers can have companies where an engineer from HCL can resign and join. And they developed all these machines. And I'm very proud to say that then we started getting a lot of orders. So now we are giving it to 110 hotels in Bangalore. We are exporting to Netherlands and Spain as well. And even 4 months back, Taj Group decided to take Sunbird straws for all their properties in India. So Taj also takes our straws. This is our latest machine that they made. This is a conveyor system. We can make 1 straw every 2 seconds. And 105 women are employed with us. But now we are getting huge orders from Benelux region, from the Middle East. In fact, Middle East are asking whether we can provide in containers. That's why we are building a huge, fine balance between technology upgradation and women employment. Both cannot be compromised. So the women should be able to meet the growing demand. And that is why our team is now making this is the first patent that we got granted. Very, very proud to tell you that a US patent is also now allowed. We are going to get a patent from the US, and 1 patent we are going to get from the European Patent Office. And I'm very happy to tell you that this will be the first European patent for Christ University. And so it doesn't matter which stream you are from, it can actually work. And in the US patent, we have 30 claims. All the machines, we have no off-the-shelf machines. So all the 30 claims are 30 points of innovation. US has granted all the 30 claims. That is across 153 countries, no one has done any of these things. So that is where you build a huge USP for your own product. And but this is the biggest joy. It's not about the technology, but the smiles of the women who work with us. These 105 women are working with us for the past 3 years. This is our unit in Tuticorin. We started with 12 women. Now there are 22 women working there. There was one lady who is hard of speech and hearing and never had a job opportunity. She is working with us for the past 3 years, and she's the fastest. She's fastest in making those straws, and she's very happy now. She's financially supporting her own family. A lot of youngsters are also working with us, so I'll just go a little quick on this. This is Sandeep again. He takes care of training operations. This is Chirag, Sandeep and Jobin. We have one unit in Bangalore that is near Mysore. We go there once in a while. We spend an entire day there, spend the time with the children also. And very proud to show this. This is our straws used at a very elite wedding in Italy. And they sent out the picture saying that, we really announced there at the wedding that these straws are made from a village in India. And this is where we get, we give identity to the women who are marginalized. And as I always say, life is a box of chocolates. You will never know what you're going to get. I got a call from the Deputy Commissioner of Nicobar Islands. He said they saw a video. Nowadays, social media does a lot of stories. Whether you know it or not, they'll tell the stories. And he called me, the Nicobar Islands. He said, can you come there and we'll make, we want to share this. We want to know whether we can set up the production centers there. And of course, I was happy because, you have to have this childlike happiness about what you're doing. And I was never on a helicopter, so I wanted to be on a helicopter. This gave me the opportunity to be on a helicopter. And then this picture I took to make my wife jealous, saying that I'm hovering in a helicopter over Bay of Bengal. And we interacted with the Nicobari tribals there. And with the help of NABARD, we are trying to set up a new production center there. And then 6 months back, the Director of Rural Development of Lakshadweep invited me. And I'm always happy when you get these free trips to places like these. We went and he had arranged, he's very passionate about wanting to do something for the communities. And it is very nice when a product gets invented at a university, students develop the technology, the women in the villages make those products, and it is sold globally. Right? So you can understand the power of what a university can do. And he had actually arranged a meeting with women from all the 10 islands of Lakshadweep. So with one small innovation, we can make a huge impact. This World Environment Day, we were actually felicitated by United Nations. If you know, that's Dia Mirza, if some of you know the Bollywood actress. Dia Mirza had felicitated. But when Sandeep, who is the MA economics student, he came to know that Dia Mirza is going to felicitate. He said, sir, you don't come, I'll go and... So I gave him that opportunity. And then, Sandeep, he's an economics student. So when we send our straws to Taj and other places, we do a strict quality check. So we reject a lot of straws at our end. And then Sandeep is in charge of production. So he was very irritated because we had rejected 36,000 straws in a month. And he said, sir, I cannot waste these straws because we have to pay the women. So these have to be sold. But then Chirag doesn't allow any quality deficient straw to be sold. And then Sandeep says, sir, I have a brilliant idea. I'll make pens out of these rejected straws. So he made the world's first writing pens from the rejected coconut leaves. And this is a girl in Germany who uses these pens made from the refill is still plastic. The entire body is made out of coconut leaf. And anything can be an innovation. I want to very quickly tell you that this is pandanus leaf, kaida, right? So somebody from Nicobar Islands sent me this photo and said, sir, can you do something about this? And I remembered that, in the Dharmaram campus of Christ University, I have seen all of this. That's why I said, walk through the most familiar places like a traveler. So I go there. Actually, we are not allowed, but I sometimes trespass and I see what all things are there. And I saw that we have it there. And then one morning, I just sneaked into that place. I stole 2 or 3 leaves and I brought it home. It's much bigger than I am. And again, I started my experiment in the lab. And after 4 to 5 months of experimentation, I was able to extract this cuticle from the pandanus leaf. It might look very simple. It's a simple steaming ironing process. But I figured it out after 4 months of relentless random experiments. And this is highly water resistant. Very water resistant. And there's a process about it. And the patent is published. You should realize that this is a simple thing, but I'm the first person on the planet to have done it. And you have to capitalize on it for the benefit of everyone, right? And the straws I make out of these, actually it can stay in a beverage for more than 100 hours. So these are the straws which I make out of these, and it can stay in a beverage for more than 100 hours, and you'll never know what can happen. There's a dentist from Australia who has called me up and said, can I use this they use suction pipes, tubes, during their procedures. So we are experimenting whether it can stand for them as well. So we'll never know what verticals can actually start from one simple innovation. And then, we are also now the students from business management, so it's a tube, right? So now, how do you convert it into a brand? So we are going to brand this as a premium product called Indian oak leaf. Now, Indian oak leaf is inspired by this butterfly, which looks like a dead leaf, but actually it's a very colorful leaf. Colorful butterfly. So we say that, okay, the statement is that you use sustainability to protect the colors of the planet. And then we are going to pitch it as a premium product. Now 4 students from Germany are actually interning with me to do a brand strategy of Indian oak leaf for European markets. Right? So I just want to give several verticals of what a business has to be seen like. And then from that cuticle, I go to the MSc Innovation Entrepreneurship class. I give that cuticle to them and say, can you do something about it? And this girl, Gomati, she made adhesive band-aid out of it. Because it's water resistant, she made adhesive band-aid of it and the patent is published now. And her innovation got selected by Bioinnovation Center. And she might get a follow-up funding of 50 lakhs for this simple innovation. We'll never know how things can actually take off. Do I have 5 minutes? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and this was, as I said, my box of chocolates when I got a call from Esocham and said, we came to know about your innovation. We want you to travel with the President of India to Philippines. This gives a huge opportunity. So I was a part of his business delegation to Philippines. And now I'm very happy to say that the Ministry of Agriculture of Philippines, Sri Lanka, Madagascar, they are asking about our technology. They want to deploy it there. And that is what is very, very important. And then somebody was talking about funding. There is actually a lot of competitions that happen and a lot of fundings that come. And then students should take part in those. First, no one will just overnight give you, okay, take 50 lakhs and 80 lakhs. First, you have to prove yourself. That can happen through proper real-world competitions. Not just the college inter-competitions, they are never exposed to the real competition out there. So we were having a very clear strategy that first 3 years we'll take part in every single competition that you come across. So there was a particular group which only used to take part to identify what are the competitions. So we won an award at Climate Launchpad in Scotland, then we won an award in Switzerland. We won almost 12 different competitions in India. And that gave us a lot of leverage. And then a lot of CSR fundings come. HDFC's, Selco Foundation, there's a company in Switzerland called Swiss Re, they all give small ticket fundings for us to take this entire journey forward. And I'm very proud to show you this letter. Of course, I cannot expand it. This is actually a thank you letter from the University of Pennsylvania. So they came to know about this innovation and they sent me a mail saying, can you please send out these straws to us? We would like to keep it in their resource library. So I'm very proud to say that these humble looking straws are now kept at the prestigious Fisher's Material Resource Library at the University of Pennsylvania, properly indexed, right, so that people can research on it. So we always look west for great innovations to happen. It's time that our students come up with great innovations for which the world will come and beat a path to our door. Yeah. And then this was my proudest moment when Chirag, the boy who had the courage to refuse a job offer from Germany, was selected as a youth ecopreneur by United Nations. And he was flown to United Nations to accept this award. That same month, we won an award in Scotland. This is the Mass Challenge Switzerland Award. We won an award in Switzerland. And that is why the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, and all came to know about us. And the pens which Sandeep made, today United Nations itself is our customer. So these are the ambassadors who use these pens. We sent it out to Geneva and in New York for their various events. We'll never know how a simple idea can actually take off, and we should never give up that self-belief. Everyone knows this jhadu, right? Right, so when we gave this straws to Taj, they asked, can you give us more eco-friendly products? We want stirrers, burger sticks, and so on and so forth. And then our Jobin, the HCL engineer, we were having a meeting, our marketing head came and said they're asking for some more products. And he suddenly goes out and he starts his experiments. And after 15-20 days, he comes up with these. He made these garnishing sticks and burger sticks from that jhadu, right? And now Taj has placed an order for 1.14 lakh of these. And there are small machines which Jobin invented by which this can be rolled very easily. And Selco Foundation 4 months back gave us 20 lakhs to say and said give 20 machines to 20 people with disabilities. So we have given these machines to people with disabilities who will roll out these for us and then we will send it out to the hotels. So you'll never know how innovations and enterprise can take off. This was all about products. Very quickly, if you can give me 3 minutes, I'll just tell how we do service innovation as well. So this is a typical chai wala the wandering tea vendors, those who go with flask in cycles or other places. So I was going to Kerala from Madiwala, a bus stop. My bus was at 12 in the night. And I'm a big chai addict. I like a lot of ginger elaichi chai. You give me I'll keep drinking the whole day. So before boarding the bus, I wanted to have this chai. And I got down, it was a very dingy area, there was no one else, only this person was there. I took a picture of his and I took the chai from him. I paid him 10 rupees, but the chai was very bad. It was very watery, very sugary, I did not like it, but I had a conversation with him. Then I came to know that he's a tailor during the day. And he stays 8 kilometers away. Every night he prepares this chai, travels 8 kilometers and sells his chai till 3 in the morning because he wants to add to his income. But as you see, there's no product standardization. The chai was very bad, substandard. There is no brand visibility. He's wearing a black jacket and moving around, so there's no brand visibility. Even the flask hygiene is suspect. I don't know whether he really cleans it very properly with hot water and so on and so forth. This is where educational institutions should critically see. So I said, can we not bring in product standardization, brand visibility, and hygiene protocols in a street business? And again, I experimented in my kitchen for 4-5 months. I'm only preparing chai. So I'm preparing the ginger elaichi chai every day with different proportions, and I wanted to know the perfect chai. And I'm giving it to the bitterest critics in my family, my wife and my daughter every day. And I'm not telling them, is the chai good? I'm giving it to them till the time they say, can you make that for us? And that day came, so the alpha test was done. And then I did my beta testing. The beta testing, I can see somebody from Christ University here, but I'll have to tell this story. So this was thankfully the vacation time. So I ordered a t-shirt with UBT brand on it, and I sold chai on Banagatta Road. This is UBT, the brand. I sold chai, and then I got these second-hand bicycles, bought bicycles, and he's not a chaiwala, he's Jobin, the design engineer. I had asked him to rebrand that second-hand cycle like this, so that now if I go with this cycle with a standard chai, people will like it, right? And then I bought this t-shirt, and I sold chai. Seriously, I sold chai on Banagatta Road for 15 days. And I didn't do it in front of our university because I thought if our vice chancellor sees, he would say, you look very good there, okay, now continue there. So, yeah, so, but then I'll give you the shock of your life, the surprise of my life. First 5 days, I made 5,000 rupees, selling chai for 2 hours morning and evening. And in fact, I'm planning to change the profession entirely. No, but it was very interesting because I'm going with this cycle on this, with this t-shirt, and there are shops on both sides. They became my permanent subscribers. So in 30 minutes, my chai, 50 cups is getting sold. And I was getting very excited. So at 12 in the night also, I'm going to the dark Swiggy stores and all and selling chai. And now we have a beautiful business model where we train women from the lower economic strata in the city to make that chai. So we have already trained 2 women, Sumati and Jubinaka. I spent 15 days to teach them how to make that chai with at least a 96% accuracy. So they are our UB partners. And those who will sell chai on the cycles will be the UB buddies. And now 6 students from computer science are creating an app so that if your department has a meeting, you can book chai from a wandering tea vendor and you will get quality chai, right? Yeah, so I'll not go into this. And I've created this purple parity pledge. How can you bring a differentiation into even a simple product like chai? Is how you build the brand strategy around it. And then this is a purple parity pledge which I designed, and then the student from BCom designed it from me. It's called purple parity pledge, and there's a QR code around it. And on the cups in which I sell my chai, you have the purple parity pledge. So if you buy my chai, on the cup you will find purple parity pledge with the QR code on it. And when you scan it, you will see the picture of the women who prepared your tea. It says, Jubina prepared your tea today, or Sumati prepared your tea today. You can have a conversation with them, send a thank you note. This is how you bring all these marginalized communities mainstream. And I feel these are the roles of our university, right? This entire, I don't know how much minute I spoke. Please remember, it's not a story of chai. It's not a story of straws. It's a story of precious human lives. You know, my story started with how one such child, we can make a difference in the life of one such child. Our students in the classrooms need to be motivated that they become entrepreneurs with a lot of values, so that they can start spreading all the happiness in the communities all around us. And that is my dream, and that should be the dream of all our institutions as well. Thanks very much for your time. Bye-bye.
What an incredible story, Dr. Saji. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for him. Spoke about the power of passion, the power of empathy, the power of observation, and the power of a university. We have had, 2 incredible stories today. I'm sure all of us are inspired to take their example to our own colleges and universities. Once again, let's give it up for them. Many congratulations, and thank you so much for sharing your stories with us.
I wholeheartedly thank our moderator, Reverend Dr. Thomas Thenadiyil CMF, panelist Marjorie Texeira and Dr. Saji Varghese for enlightening us with their valuable insights and thoughtful discussion. Let us give a big round of applause for keeping us engaged throughout the session. As a gesture of our sincere appreciation, I now invite Brother John Kallarakkal, Director of Litter Flower College, Guruvayanur, Kerala, to present a token of gratitude to our moderator and panelist. Yes, I made a mistake. Sorry, I would like to correct myself. He is from Hyderabad and not from Kerala. Sorry for the mistake. Thank you, Brother John Kalarakal. With this, we conclude our first session for the day.